All right, first of all, we played a week ago Monday, took Tuesday and Wednesday off, practiced Thursday, Friday, scrimmaged on Saturday, took Sunday off, practiced yesterday, and we'll practice today, getting ready for tomorrow's last home game of the season. I thought the rest on Tuesday and Wednesday was good for us. By Thursday, we had everybody at practice, which was the first time in a long time. We practiced well on Thursday and Friday, had a good scrimmage on Saturday, got additional rest on Sunday, had a great practice yesterday, and we're ready to go back at it today.
Full lineup?
Yep, we had we have 11 scholarship players, all 11 were ready, willing, and able to practice.
Hey Jim, you talked about this being a marathon, not a sprint, but like 24 miles of that marathon, are gone. As you look at I don't know what you call it, a post-mortem or whatever, a couple of early stumbles with all 11 guys, I think, right, in December or before the ACC schedule, then injuries hit. As you look back, was it really just injuries that caused the issues, or were some of the things that were issues in December, unable to be addressed?
Okay, so I understand the question. Yeah, we went 9-2. We had two terrible halves. The second half against Kentucky and the second half against Colorado. And in December, you're really looking to build your team and figure things out. So you might try a defense to see if it works. You might try a lineup to see if that works. In those two particular games, you might get in foul trouble, which we did, and have to figure out, okay, what are we going to do if we're in foul trouble? And you prefer as a coach that what you tried worked, but it didn't. So you say to yourself, okay, what do we do going forward? Well, going forward, we started winning again. We had some nice wins just before the new year. We started out with a nice win over Clemson to start the new year. We had a very strange game in my mind versus Wake Forest. We were without Wooga Poplar. Nijel Pack sprained his ankle during the game in the first half, and Norchad Omier sprained his ankle during the game in the first half. Yet we played really well enough to have the ball in our hands and a chance to win the game in regulation. Then we had a 6-point lead in the overtime, had a chance to win, and didn't. And if you look at Wake Forest home record, they're undefeated at home this year. So that would have been a terrific road win for us that we didn't get. But what it started was an avalanche of continuous adjustments that we had to make. All right, what do we do now with Nijel? He sprained his ankle. What do we do with Norchad? He sprained his ankle. Wooga's still out with his sprained ankle. And we ended up tinkering with our starting lineup. If you look throughout the season, I don't know how many different starting lineups, 8 different starting lineups. And it's not just that, it's the adjustment you have to make because of who got hurt. So Nijel Pack was the first casualty. He's our point guard. We put the ball in his hands and he led us, and now he's out. So we moved Bensley over to that spot, although Bensley is a point guard as well, not a big adjustment, but we got to bring someone in off the bench who's a freshman. Now he moves from being a solid sub to now he's got to start and play, instead of playing 15 minutes, now he's playing 22 or 25. It's a little more responsibility, all right? And then you get another guy hurt. Norchad Omier sprains an ankle, and he doesn't play against Syracuse, and you lose at the buzzer. And so in the months of January and February, quite frankly, I know everybody that has enjoyed watching Miami men's basketball program these last couple of years have to look at it and say, what in the heck is going on? And I'm right with them. If I had a simple answer to these questions, I would have used them. the number of times my staff and I have discussed whether or not we should zone. We discussed using a diamond and one. But then when you practice it and it doesn't look very good, as a coach, you're not gonna say, okay, maybe it'll work in the game. No, first it's gotta look good in practice, like, okay, that makes sense. And then try it in a game, and then whether it works or not, you adjust.
How do you feel?
Oh, can I just follow up?
Yeah,
absolutely.
finish that.
So it's one of those years, I get it, okay? Next year, I think there's no seniors on this team, right? You have a number 10 recruiting class. Like, do you have a sense for, okay, this was just one of those years, and for fans now, hey, fans, like, look at next year because we'll be back to what we were? Like, do you have a sense of that coming based on the roster?
No. Okay. College athletics has changed dramatically in the last few years. College basketball in particular has seen some incredible swings. And the reason being, we first entered the transfer portal period where 1,500 kids put their name into the portal. Then 1,700 kids put their name in the portal. And I'm guessing that there'll be 2,000 kids who will put their name in the portal. In addition to that, some of our success has garnered a lot of NBA interest. So we've had NBA scouts at our practices and games throughout the season. And in talking to them and knowing how our players feel, the option really exists that I can put my name in the portal and transfer. I can put my name in the draft and test the waters. I can put my name into the draft and keep it in there and turn pro, or I can return. So all four of those are options, and those are options for everybody on our team. So there is no planning until the players themselves make the commitment to the University of Miami men's basketball program. We know how many guys are returning and how many scholarships are available.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to go back to the adjustments and maybe learning of your team, with not knowing exactly how things are going to go in a game, but how do you feel like right now, got 11, the adjustments you want to make, or feel like basically how well you know your team with, if you do have all 11, how do you feel confidence-wise? I mean,
Well, confidence is a funny thing. It comes and goes based on, basically how well you're playing. But we had a scrimmage on Saturday, and we played 6-on-6, and we played for a 20-minute half, and the starters scored 58 points. It's the first time we've been healthy in a very long time, and from an offensive standpoint, we looked very, very good. In that half, we had 16 assists, and we made, I think it was like 12 threes. But that's us when we're healthy, we're playing well, we're sharing the ball, and we did that on Saturday. Whether we can do that against an entirely different opponent, who knows?
Anything else?
That's good. Boston College, you'd obviously seen them before, made threes, but they got the inside presence with post, the difficulty of facing them with what they're able to do.
Yeah, Quentin Post is the, no, if I say this, it's gotta be off the record.
Camera's
The
here.
camera's on.
Okay. Quentin Post is the big guy that every decision we have to make is about him. Okay? How do we guard him? He can shoot the three. He's their leading percentage shooter from three-point range, shooting over 40% from three. He's clearly one of the best low-post players in the league, had 30 the other night. And everything we tried to do the first time we played them led to either him hitting a three, because we were doubling the guy using his ball screen. So So he made threes. Then the moment we started switching, he went inside, and we had to double him on the inside, and they moved the ball and got a perimeter three. My point is, we got to pick our poison. And the hardest thing is, can we do a good job on him and still do a good job on the perimeter players? In the first game, we clearly couldn't.
Big Mike's much improved. Do you think he'll be a factor tomorrow night?
Well, I like the improvement in Michael Nowako throughout this season. He had a good scrimmage on Saturday. He was, I think, in the first half, 5 for 7 from the field, scored double figures in the first half, and looked good doing it. The guys he's going against are such experienced players. How old is Quentin Post? What year is he?
He's at least junior. He was injured a couple of years, and he's so much improved this year as well.
And he's a transfer. I want to look, because you're now talking about a rookie who's
He's a fifth year.
yeah. That's it. So here's a guy who's a fifth-year senior who's played, I don't know, he's a very, very experienced guy with a lot of skill and a lot of physicality in his game. Michael's just kind of learning college basketball. And has he improved? Yes. The answer clearly is yes. But for him to just go one-on-one in the post with a Quentin Post is, a major uphill battle. A guy like Norchad Omier has his hands full, and he's a fourth-year player with a lot of experience under his belt. The difference between Quentin Post and Armando Bacot is you almost always know where to find Armando Bacot, and that's in the paint. He's going to find his way to offensive rebound, post up, run the court, and get to the rim, ball screen and roll hard. But Quentin Post, he's all over the place. He's shooting threes, he's handling the ball, he's posting up, he hits a jump hook, he picks and pops, so it's very, very difficult for us to guard him. One of the biggest challenges for us has been to get bigger. Now, we've tried. We've had a lot of big guys that we've recruited, and we felt like, okay, we need this guy, and end up going to some other school. Recruiting is hard. We're very, very fortunate. We have 3 very good freshmen coming in next year. I really like what they're doing. Jalil Bethea has been selected for the McDonald's All-American game.
Schwartz,
Austin Schwartz was he the player of the year? I think he's the player.
Carolina.
And then Isaiah Johnson-Arrigo is vying for player of the year in that state as well. So, but to get another 6'10" guy so we can, my plan for next year, if we have everybody back, would be to play Michael Nowako and Norchad together. So now we have 2 big guys that can both rebound and score it around the basket. And with Norchad's improvement of shooting the 3, and hopefully Michael Nowako's improvement of shooting the 3 would really make us a very fine combination up front.
One more?
Yeah, I've got one. You talked about pick your poison type mentality towards Boston College. You've done that with other teams. Do you get a sense on how other teams view you guys? I know you don't have maybe that, but do you sense that they're guarding you differently each and every game, or how they're trying to take certain things that you guys do well?
Every team does something a little bit different. Like in Nigel's case, when he was playing, they spent a lot of time denying him. Certain teams trapped Norchad Omier. Not a lot, but enough that you had a plan for it. Wooga Poplar's another one that they spent a lot of time denying, really getting in his grill and trying to keep him from catching the ball. But every game is different, every opponent is different.
Well, Norchad?
You guys ready for tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Jim said you had a great practice.
You know, like this couple of last practices been great. You know, we're feeling good about ourselves. Everything been rolling. Nijel is back on the court. We're feeling good.
Norchad, in particular, Coach said Saturday scrimmage, you had all 6 of you main guys together on one team. Just what does it look like when you guys are playing well? When you guys have your 6, how does it look in practice? Essentially for games too.
A lot of points, a lot of assists. You know, you just feel good. You know, it's been a minute since everybody been on the court together. So it just look great out there, if I'm being honest. You know, we having fun, we enjoying. It looks good.
And maybe your confidence level when are you thinking like, hey, if we have, I know coaches talked about it a lot, but if we have our guys, we feel good going in. Is that how you guys feel? What's your confidence level when you do have everyone available?
Yeah, I would agree 100%. You know, not having Nijel out there, one of our key pieces. You know, during the season, a lot of people not out there, but no excuses. But you know, having them back is just great, man. Like how you say, the confidence goes up, knowing that you know he's back out there. It's just amazing.
Hey, not to ignore you, Nigel, I'll ask you a question in a minute, but Norchad, one more for you. Coach was saying that, you know, next year, if you're back, his plan would be for Michael and you to play together. You know, how much did you notice that, obviously, you're the only physical presence right now, and how big a difference does it make, you know, when a more developed Michael or a big guy like that can sort of help you and take some of the pressure off you inside the post, you know?
It's great, you know, like when anybody can help you in any other way, like he comes in, give great minutes. You know, I go, AJ, like whoever can, you know, help in any other way, being physical, you know, getting rebounds, doing something good. You know, it's always great to be out there.
And was that missing this year? Because a lot of other teams had 2 guys, not like you, but 2 big guys. You know, you only have really 1 big physical guy yourself, right? You know, did you notice that made a difference in some of the losses that were so close?
I mean, I think we would have been able to, you know, get all the wins. You know, just a little thing here or there. I think it was more mental. I don't think it was so much physical. You know, some mental mistakes. So I think that was it. I don't think it was any physicality missing.
And Nigel, I wanted to ask you also, just, it's been a rough season. Obviously, you guys had different expectations for your record right now. Is there anything you can pinpoint? Was it really just the injuries? Was there any more to it? You know, sort of what went wrong this year?
I mean, I just feel like, you know, definitely the injuries played a huge part, especially when, you know, you guys such a talented team, but, you know, you can't, you know, play with all the guys, and everybody's having to play a different role each game, and, you know, some of the times we're having to ask, you know, guys off the bench to step up and, you know, really key games, and I mean, it just came down to being healthy. If we can get everybody healthy and everybody play, I feel like it gives a good chance to win any game, and then also comes down to, you know, the mental mistakes, like you said. We just got to be, you know, more locked in, especially towards the end of the game, to, you know, capitalize when we need to, you know, kind of, you know, take advantage of the things we need to during the end of the games.
Nigel, what's it been like for you since you've not played in games? You guys had extra practice where nobody's had games, but what has this process been like for you in getting ready? What have you been doing? And then when did you essentially come back to full practice?
You know, for me, it's been a different approach, you know, being able to watch from the sidelines and, you know, see the coach's perspective of things, you know, not being able to play, but be able to mentally, you know, focus in on, you know, what our team is doing and what we need to do better at. It's kind of actually been really helpful for me on the mental side of the game, and, you know, I feel like I've been able to, you know, do really good, you know, to get better mentally at the game so I can help this team when I'm able to return back onto the court. But, you know, being able to get back into the gym, you know, over the last, you know, week or so, just, you know, taking, you know, my time with it, making sure, you know, getting in a lot of treatment hours with, you know, with Sam, and, you know, a lot of weightlifting as well, just to get, you know, strength back. I think my first full practice was Thursday. I can't remember when we came back from, Thursday. So my first full practice was Thursday. So I got some few practices in last week. I was there to practice again yesterday, and, you know, looking forward to practicing again today.
And how have you felt the next day when you practice? Essentially soreness, or how have you felt the day after?
I feel like, you know, especially with the 3 days, you know, definitely could feel that. But, you know, with Sam being on my side, you know, the extra weightlifting, I feel like, you know, my body's been feeling better than it usually has been, and that's what I've been trying to, you know, give that to my body, just because knowing, you know, how many games we have to play next week for the ACC tournament, just trying to get my body ready and prepared for no matter how many games we have to play, just to be ready for that.
And you said you've been able to watch the team, you know, when you haven't been playing. Is there something that you can pinpoint that you've noticed that you want to take or that you're trying to apply now that you're back? Is there something in particular that you could share?
Yeah, just, you know, being a better leader, seeing, you know, when we're not, you know, focused or locked in, where guys we may miss a block out here, or maybe there's an extra pass here, or there's a, you know, a pass that's been open for us a lot of times, or the extra one more. It's just a bunch of different things like that, watching on film with the coaches and seeing, you know, some things we need to take advantage of, because a lot of people are leaving this open. And I feel like, you know, we got so many good players on the court that, you know, if they leave something open, we need to take advantage of it.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'll ask another one. Norchad, the challenge of Boston College and what Quentin's able to do. You obviously saw him, just that challenge going into it, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, you know, he's a great player. He's not just like all the different physical bigs in the league. He's, you know, he can shoot the three to something like PJ Hall, but I think a better 3-point shooter. So that, you know, you just got to execute the game plan. Like all year long, you know, do what the coaches tell us and like do it for the whole 40 minutes, not just for 35, 32, for the whole 40 minutes.
Norchad, I want to ask you another question. When we talk to you, sometimes we'll talk about mismatches, or if you're facing guys with size. That seems to be the narrative. But do you have the mentality, or can you share your mentality that you're a mismatch for other teams, and that we don't necessarily always focus on that? But can you talk about your mentality that with what you're bringing to the table, and how teams have to face you?
Yeah, well, you know, going into every game, I just, you know that I'm going to play great players. So I just focus on, you know, exploiting their weaknesses, because everybody have weaknesses, and just, you know, you got to take away something from them, because they are in Division I high major for some reason. So just take away something from them, because they, like, people just adjust during the game. I do it, I know they're going to do it. So that's just the mentality. Just try to do your best every game.
Norchad, can I ask you one more? You know, you mentioned the mental mistakes. I just wanted to sort of get a little more detail on that. You know, because I guess it wasn't only like in the ACC segment of the season. Was that because there was so much shuffling in and out? You know, because is it something that's really difficult to correct because it's sort of been recurring throughout the year? Like, can you just sort of talk about what caused it perhaps, and why it's been difficult to fix throughout the season?
Yeah, I can't really tell you what caused it, but just been going on during the season. You know, just something here and there, like the little things that change the game, like a missed box out, you know, an extra rebound you give them, like stuff like that, stuff that we work on. So just those little things, you know, and I think we can correct them.
So you work on it in practice, but it's not translating to the game, it sounds like, a little bit.
So we're working on them in practice.